Marek caught Caryn stealing $5 million from Matt Roloff. There is a moment in every family story when everything changes. For the Roloff family, fans believe that moment may have come quietly. Not with cameras rolling. Not during a dramatic reunion episode. But somewhere behind the scenes of Roloff Farms, where a shocking accusation began to circulate. Did someone close to Matt Roloff secretly move millions of dollars from family empire? And if that rumor is true, why did Marek suddenly step in? For years, viewers of the TLC reality series Little People Big World watched the Roloff family grow up on screen. The farm, the marriages, the children, and eventually the heartbreak. What once looked like a wholesome family legacy slowly became one of reality television's most complicated relationship stories. Amy Roloff moved on. Matt Roloff found love again with Caryn Chandler. And Marek entered the picture as the calm and steady partner Amy had always hoped for. But fans began to notice something strange. Financial tensions, farm disputes, quiet rumors about money, and whispers that millions connected to Roloff Farms had become the center of a private conflict. Then came the moment that stunned viewers. Marek reportedly confronted a situation involving Caryn and a massive amount of money tied to Matt Roloff's business. $5 million. Was it a misunderstanding? A rumor blown out of proportion? Or a secret that could change how fans see the entire Roloff legacy? Tonight we are breaking down the full story. The relationships, the business deals, the tension behind Roloff Farms, and the moment fans believe Marek finally saw something that could not be ignored. Because sometimes the biggest reality television drama never makes it onto the show. To understand why this alleged scandal shocked fans so deeply, you have to go back to the beginning of the Roloff story. Before the headlines, before the farm feud, before the divorces, Matt Roloff and Amy Roloff built something rare in reality television. When Little People Big World premiered on TLC in 2006, audiences were introduced to a family navigating life with dwarfism while raising 4 children on a massive Oregon farm. The show quickly became one of the network's most beloved series. Viewers watched the kids grow up. They watched the challenges of parenting, farming, and running a business. And most importantly, they watched Matt and Amy try to keep their marriage together while managing a very public life. But behind the scenes, the marriage was already under pressure. Matt was ambitious, always thinking about the next big project for Roloff Farms. The pumpkin seasons, the attractions, the expansion ideas that could turn the property into a tourist destination. Amy, on the other hand, focused more on family stability. She wanted a home environment where the kids felt secure. Over time, those differences created distance. And eventually, another person entered the story. Her name was Caryn Chandler. Caryn Chandler originally worked for the Roloff family as a manager during the busy pumpkin season events at Roloff Farms. At first, she was simply seen as a trusted employee. But over time, fans noticed something. Caryn and Matt appeared extremely close. They worked together constantly, planned events together, managed farm operations together. And according to several family members, their friendship began long before Matt and Amy officially ended their marriage. When Matt and Amy announced their divorce in 2015, viewers were stunned. After nearly 3 decades together, the marriage that had anchored the show was over. Not long after, Matt confirmed he was in a relationship with Caryn. For many fans, it felt like a confirmation of suspicions they had carried for years. Meanwhile, Amy Roloff was navigating life after divorce. And that was when Marek entered the picture. Chris was very different from Matt. He was calm, grounded, soft-spoken. A real estate professional who enjoyed motorcycle trips and a quieter lifestyle. When Amy introduced Chris to viewers, fans immediately noticed the difference in energy. Chris was patient. Chris listened. Chris seemed to bring Amy a level of peace she had not experienced in years. But as Amy and Chris built their relationship, another storyline was quietly developing in the background. The future of Roloff Farms. And the millions of dollars tied to it. Roloff Farms was not just a home. It was a business empire. The property included multiple houses, attractions, agricultural operations, and the extremely profitable pumpkin season events that drew thousands of visitors every year. At the center of it all was Matt Roloff. But the next generation had always assumed that one day the farm would belong to the children. Particularly Zach Roloff, who had shown strong interest in taking over operations. For years fans believed that transition would eventually happen. Until it didn't. In a shocking twist, Matt announced that part of the farm property would be listed for sale rather than transferred to the children. The decision created massive tension inside the family. Zach and his wife Tori expressed deep disappointment. Jeremy Roloff also distanced himself from negotiations. Suddenly the family that had once built the farm together seemed divided by it. And fans began asking one major question. Who was influencing Matt's decisions? Many viewers believed Caryn Chandler had become a powerful voice in Matt's financial and business choices. She was involved in meetings, property discussions, long-term planning, and because she was not a blood relative, the situation made some fans uncomfortable. Rumors began circulating online that Caryn had gained enormous influence over the Roloff finances. Most of those rumors were never confirmed, but they created an atmosphere of suspicion. An atmosphere that would eventually place Marek in an unexpected position. Marek rarely involved himself in Roloff family drama. From the beginning he made it clear that he respected the complicated history between Matt and Amy. He stayed calm during awkward farm visits. He avoided public criticism. And he focused on supporting Amy rather than engaging in old conflicts. But as the farm disputes intensified, Chris found himself closer to the situation than he had ever planned. Amy had financial ties to the farm after the divorce. Eventually she sold her portion of the property to Matt in a multi-million-dollar transaction that allowed her to fully move on. Yet the negotiations surrounding that deal were not simple. Lawyers were involved. Property valuations were discussed. And large amounts of money changed hands. During that time, according to fan speculation and online rumors, questions began to surface about where certain funds connected to the farm were being directed. Some online discussions claimed that Caryn had access to financial decisions that went far beyond her role as Matt's partner. Then came the moment that fueled one of the biggest fan theories in the Little People Big World community. Marek allegedly became aware of financial irregularities tied to the farm. Again, there has never been public confirmation of missing money. But fan forums exploded with speculation that Chris had confronted Matt privately about financial transparency and the influence surrounding business decisions. Whether that confrontation actually happened remains unclear. But the rumor itself changed how many viewers interpreted the Roloff family tension. Because if Chris did step in, it meant the situation had become impossible to ignore. The years following the farm dispute were some of the most emotionally difficult in the Roloff family history. Zach and Tori moved away from the farm area. Jeremy and Audrey built a life separate from the show. Amy focused on her marriage with Chris and their quieter home away from the original farm property. Meanwhile, Matt and Caryn continued planning their future together. But something about the family dynamic had permanently changed. Where there had once been large gatherings on the farm, there were now fewer shared celebrations. Where the show once focused on family teamwork, newer seasons highlighted distance and unresolved disappointment. Fans noticed the difference immediately. Social media discussions often returned to the same question. Was the farm decision purely business? Or was someone influencing Matt's choices behind the scenes? Marek rarely commented publicly, but viewers often interpreted his calm silence as quiet observation. A man watching a complicated situation unfold while protecting the peace he had built with Amy. Today the Roloff story continues, but in a very different form than it once did. Amy and Chris appear happy in their marriage. They travel. They enjoy life away from the daily farm conflicts. And Amy often shares moments of gratitude for finding stability after such a turbulent chapter of her life. Matt Roloff continues to manage Roloff Farms while developing new projects on the property. Caryn Chandler remains his partner, though their relationship has occasionally faced speculation from fans who still question the past. Meanwhile, the Roloff children have created their own paths. Some remain connected to the show. Others have stepped away entirely. But the dream that once united them all, the idea that the farm would remain a shared family legacy, seems to have faded. And with that change came a wave of rumors that may never fully be confirmed, including the dramatic story about $5 million that fans still debate online. Every reality television story eventually becomes a lesson about real life. Money changes relationships. Business decisions affect families. And when cameras capture only part of the story, audiences often fill the gaps with speculation. The Roloff family spent nearly 2 decades sharing their lives with viewers. But no television show can reveal every private conversation, every financial negotiation, or every emotional disagreement. What we do know is this: divorce reshaped the family. The future of Roloff Farms divided expectations. And new relationships changed the balance of influence within the family business. Whether the rumors about missing millions were exaggerated or misunderstood, they reflect a deeper truth about fame and fortune. When money and family mix, even the strongest bonds can be tested. In the end, the Roloff story is not just about reality television. It is about a family that built a dream together. A farm that symbolized hard work, creativity, and perseverance. And the complicated reality that comes when that dream becomes a business worth millions. Marek may never publicly address the rumors fans continue to discuss. Caryn Chandler may never respond to the speculation that surrounds her influence. And Matt Roloff may always see the farm decisions as necessary for the future he imagined. But one thing remains certain. The story of Roloff Farms is far from over. Because every season of life reveals new chapters. And sometimes the most dramatic moments happen when the cameras are no longer rolling. If you want more deep dives into reality television secrets, celebrity relationships, and the untold stories behind your favorite shows, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Because the next chapter might be even more shocking than the last.